Hi everybody, I'm Kirsty Meakin from Nao Nails. In this video, we are going to do a technique that is called aquarelle.
I can't even. How do you spell that?
Aquarelle. I don't know how to spell it.
I'm gonna have to write it though.
Aquarelle is, for those that don't know, it's basically watercolour paints on nails. So I'm going to show you how to do it. I have a little tip. Mr. Tip is happy to be my model today. I am going to use a pale background. I always think aquarelle looks great on a pale background. So I'm going to use this colour, which is Beauty Beneath. Beautiful. I'm going to do 2 coats of this colour. Yep. I don't know what colours I'm going to use, so I'm going to use love. I'm going to be fey and just get all the colours out. Words are like weapons, they wound sometimes.
I didn't realise this was the musical episode.
I found my tweezers, I'm so proud. Why have I found a lid off the paint? That makes me sad. Because that means that the paint's drying out somewhere. Here is the paint that is drying out. Can I save it? Does it just got skin on it? Ooh, I like. Do you know semolina?
I know it, but I don't do anything with it.
Semolina, we used to have it at school, and it was nice when it had a skin on it. Sorry. Right, I'm going to use this colour, which is called Emerald Green. I think it's more of a turquoise, if I'm honest. That's magenta, black, bit of white, bit of titanium. Right, I'm going to top coat this now. So you're going to start your aquarelle with basically a blank canvas. So whatever colour you want to choose, 2 coats of colour and your top coat, that's your blank canvas. So there's the blank canvas. What I'm going to do is buff the nail. Now this is super important. We need to make it slightly porous. Now if you were doing watercolours on a canvas, the paper that you use is porous, and that's what we're trying to do to this top coat now. We're going to make it porous so it sucks up the paint ever so slightly. It does not work as well on a shiny surface. So I've just got an old buffer. It's not a brand new one. As you can tell, we have a little bit of damage to it, but it is fine to buff over. Dust that over. I am going to wipe over with some gel residue wipe off solution. Right, I've got a load of brushes here. I'm going to try my best to use all of them. I don't think I'm going to be able to use them all. I'll try. I will try. They're all different in their own little way. But I'll use what I can. I will use a lot of this one, which is the 01. First of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the 302 brush. Oh my god, that is one tiny brush. I'm going to use black. To do this aquarelle, I am going to create a border with the black paint. Around. This is the base of this flower. Now I'm going to outline each petal. Right, I don't like this bit, so I'm going to take that off using the gel residue wipe off solution and my 3D brush. I'm going to do a portion of a flower up here. And I'm going to do a smaller one here. Then we're going to use the 01 brush. I'm going to use my favourite colour, which is magenta, and we're going to water it down. And you're going to fill, clean the brush. I've dried the brush, I've cleaned it out, and you can see how it sucks up paint to create that effect. That's what we want. So I'll show you again. Take the wash, fill the section that you want to be coloured. I'm going to touch where I want it darker with a little bit more and let that sort of bleed. And I'm going to clean my brush, dry the brush off, place the brush on, and it will start to suck up the paint so you can create that shaded effect. I'll do the same colour here. Clean the brush. And just sort of move the brush where you want to take away the colour. You're kind of using it like a rubber.
Eraser.
An eraser. I'm going to do the same with a few different colours just to make this nice and colourful. So again, I need to mix that pool of colour. Water down the acrylic paint so it becomes more like a watercolour paint. Colour it in. You can add more where you want it a little bit more pigmented. sort of touch it. It's really wet. Now I'm going to go into the white and make that into a wash. And just add tiny bits of highlight. Got to make sure it's a wash, else it won't flow with the design. You want it to look, you know, like it's done with watercolours. Now with the 0001 brush, I'm going to use the black and just add a little bit of detail. We want to keep it quite simple, so not too much detail. So now those paints are dry, we've got the detail in. I'm going to add the top coat where I will matte it off so it resembles more of a watercolour painting. The beautiful thing about a watercolour painting is all those gradients that you get from the water flowing with the pigment inside, and then you controlling where that is going to be and sucking it up with your brush as well. Pop that in the lamp. I'm going to take my buffer and gently buff over this. This is going to make it really matte. You don't have to do this. You could leave it shiny. You can leave it like a gloss. Somebody wants that gloss look. You can do that. You need to be gentle. If you are quite heavy-handed, then maybe you need to put 2 coats of top coat on so you don't file through onto your design. Just going to wipe over that with the gel residue wipe off solution, just to make sure there's no dust. It's very pretty. I like it. I could it's one of those techniques where I could get lost in it and I could just keep doing it for hours and hours and the world would just pass by and the hours would just pass by and I'd just consume myself with painting. I do like painting, if you haven't noticed. So y'all guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video of how to create an aquarelle design / watercolour design. Don't forget, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Everything I've used today, like the brushes and the paints and all that, will be listed below in the description box. So everything will be there for you. And please keep watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye. If I could turn back time, if I could find the way, I'll take back all the words that I hurt you, and you say, oh mate, I was turning a bit Celine then, wasn't it? Not sure. have to like that for Celine, don't you?